we would stop recording. Go ahead. We will stop recording, and during that part, you can then have any Q&A, any questions that you have. So if you feel uncomfortable, maybe asking at the beginning anything, just keep it for later when it's not recorded, or at the end. Anyway, we'll have more time for questions, so it would be better if you ask then majority of the questions. Okay, so again, thanks for joining. I did not say that. And so I would suggest that we get going with this first part. So what I wanted to, how we thought we can proceed would be that I wanted to show you first this video that we made, that is a video on how to apply. So maybe I hope that most of you saw this video already. You can find it either if you go to YouTube, you go to our SMASH project channel, SMASH MSCA, and then it is one of the videos, this how to apply, or you can find it if you go to our webpage. You go to, I'm sure that you're all aware of our webpage. You go become a fellow, application procedure, and then you have this video guide for applicants. So if you don't mind, I would just play it. It's 2 minutes long, so I think it's worth that we see it together, and then we would go in more detail to the steps outlined here, so that I just tell you more about the application. So I will just play it now.
How to apply for a SMASH postdoc fellowship. Welcome to the SMASH project, which will become the next milestone on your career path. The goal of the project is to attract 50 excellent postdoctoral researchers in the next 5 years, with at least 40% female researchers. Let's dive into the core guidelines for your SMASH application. Your roadmap starts with the SMASH Guide for Applicants document. It should be your compass through this journey. Step 1. Understand the project's vision and goals. Learn more about SMASH research areas and see if they overlap with your expertise and interests. Team up with your primary supervisor as early as possible. They'll be your guides, helping you shape your proposal for success. Step 2. Check the eligibility criteria and make sure you meet the requirements. Note that the support letter from the host institution is a required document, so ensure you are in contact with the host supervisors and that you are developing the project together. Step 3. Mark your calendars. Keep an eye on application deadlines. Step 4. Register in our application portal, where you can start filing in the information and request support letters. You can save the application and edit it freely as many times as needed. Step 5. Gather your documents. This includes your CV, research proposal, and academic transcripts. It's your time to shine. Step 6. Craft your research proposal. Be clear, be concise, and highlight the innovation your project brings to the table. Consult our scoring criteria. Collaborate closely with your primary supervisor to align them with your research vision. Step 7. Choose your secondments wisely. Your supervisor should be able to help you make a choice that is most meaningful for your proposal. Step 8. Submit your application. Be thorough, be confident, and make your application stand out. Step 9. Await the decision. The selection process is competitive, but your passion and potential can make all the difference. Step 10. Embrace the opportunity. If selected, you are on a path to innovate, collaborate, and contribute to groundbreaking research.
Okay, so thanks for listening. So I think that, I mean, we hope that this video summarizes main ideas of SMASH and of what you should do in order to apply and who we are. So talking about in the order that it was shown in the video. So if you're interested to apply, of course, I guess you all did that. You should check out what research areas we're working on, and you should check our supervisors, like who are the people that make up SMASH and with whom you can work. If all this, it inspires you to apply, then you should check the eligibility criteria. And before now, I will go in detail with eligibility criteria, but another very important thing here is this guide for applicants. So this doesn't have to be, it's a bit detailed document of 20 pages or so, but here really the idea is that you should be able to find answers to any questions that you might have after you just read the website. So please make sure to also open this document and look first there if you have any questions. Maybe I stop here just for a second if anybody has questions of where to find guide for applicants or the video or something. So if you have questions, just raise your hand and we'll try to, and we'll pose. Okay, then talking about eligibility criteria.
Gioacchino.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, nice to meet you. Sorry, I have just a question because I'm currently a PhD student and I will finish in December my grant. But I will obtain the title, the PhD degree in April or May. It's also possible for me apply for the project, SMASH project, or no?
Okay, so this is a good question. This is indeed a question about this eligibility criteria that we're about now to discuss. So the rules of Marie Curie in general are such that you must have a PhD degree, or at least you must successfully defend your thesis by the time of the deadline, of the application deadline. Okay. And so, unfortunately, if you think that you will, if I understood correctly, Gioacchino, you will defend your thesis in December, you said.
No, not in December, sorry, in April 2024. I will finish my salary in December because in Italy there are a small windows between the finish of the salary, the stop of the salary and the PhD.
Right.
Yes, so maybe I cannot apply.
So right, so you cannot apply in this call because our deadline is October 27 this year, and so you will not have defended your PhD by then. Point is that it doesn't concern salary at all. Like if you're employed, not employed.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. But there will be another call.
Exactly.
Year,
So let me just see. Let me just see if it is here, and it's not on this page. So somewhere on our pages that now very quickly I cannot find, there is information about our calls. Here, right. If you go to become a fellow, you see we're having first, second call. We expect to have the third call in a year from now.
Okay.
So for this one, you will be eligible, definitely. We might, this is not yet clear at all, have also the fourth call, but this is not official or even decided yet. But on call 3, you can count that should be in these dates.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so
much. Okay, and then other eligibility criteria are, scroll through, that also it's important mobility rule. So you cannot apply if you have been in Slovenia for more than a year in the past 3 years. So this is again because this is Marie Curie grant and they want mobility within Europe or worldwide. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions about this. And then the third requirement is that you need, in order to apply, you need to make sure that you will have a supervisor, host institution support letter. So in a sense, like because within SMASH, we want to make sure that all applicants and all fellows have a good supervision, that they work on projects that you can supervise within the network. And that's why you have to make sure that you have, that you contact supervisors supervisors, that they, feel that your project is aligned with what they do and where they can supervise you. And then before the call deadline, they will need to upload such letter in the system. So bottom line, you need to talk with your supervisors as early as possible. Okay. Okay, so after that, another thing that you should do as soon as possible, one is, of course, to take a look at our templates on the documentation that is needed to apply. Try to, make sure, for example, that you read what information is needed in these documents and that you start thinking how to implement it. And another thing is that as early as possible, you should register in our application system, okay? So when you decide, okay, I want to apply, I'm eligible, this call or the next, so if it is in this call, you should go to our webpage, just let me move this, press this button, apply now. That will take you, now I logged in so I cannot show you, but it will take you to the place where you can register or sign in. And once when you sign in, this will be our tool, how it looks from the inside, okay? So once when you decide, you contact your supervisor, you decide you will apply, register as soon as possible in our system, and in order to see all the information that you need to put in on the inside. Because as you will see, there is lots of administrative data that you should specify. For eligibility compliance, you will have to upload a PhD certificate or a document from your institution saying that you successfully defended your PhD thesis. You will have to put the dates where you worked recently to prove that you were not in Slovenia and things like that. Then you will need to upload the documents that relate to your experience as a researcher, meaning that you will have to upload your CV. Okay, in case you had any career breaks, you should detail them in a separate documents, but this is only if applicable, so it's not necessary. You will have to request two reference letters, from your supervisors, from people that you worked with in the past, that should testify about your track record. About this, be careful, because how we do it is that you put in the name and email of the person, and then you send request. You click send request, which will then automatically generate email that they will receive requesting the reference letter. The tricky thing here is that the hard deadline for receiving these letters in 7 days after the deadline. So in our case, would be probably November 3rd or around that time. So that's why it's important that you request this letter early enough so that they have time to write a letter, and that you follow up with them to remind them, before this, say November 3rd, to make sure that they sent it, because otherwise it will not be possible to send it later. Okay. And then the part 4 are the documents that detail what is your research idea. Okay, Clara, please go ahead with the question.
Yes, thank you. I have a question regarding reference letters. Did I understand correctly, the referees would also get the template with this automatically generated email?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. Good.
Okay. And another question, what is considered a career break? Like what falls into this category?
Exactly. So I don't know, Lars, if this is something question maybe for you, if you wait.
So maybe maternity leave or some stuff. We should look into the exact Marie Curie rules. They are different. Yeah, medically. There are different options. I don't know the answer from now, but you can send an email probably to us, and then we will send you exactly what qualifies as a career break. I know that.
Okay, thank you.
Maternity leave, longer sick leaves, definitely breaks, or some also employment in other sectors.
Exactly. I think that also if you work outside of academia for a while, it could be considered a career break. and would not be counted toward the time spent in Slovenia, basically, because we don't have really. Yeah, I mean, you can just illustrate that so that evaluators know, because they will evaluate your track record in the context of years you spend in academia, basically.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I hope this helps, Clara. So for more technical, if you still have doubts, just email smash, that holds for all of you, of course, smash@ung.si, and so then we can really go in the rules in detail if the question is very particular. Thank you.
Sorry?
Giacchino, go ahead.
Thank you. Just another question, sorry, because it's also possible to propose another second supervisor for the project, or there is a limit for the supervisor that you advise in the list.
Okay, so I guess so that is a question related to research proposal itself, I believe. Okay, and we are now getting to that, so I will answer now as we go in this part. Okay, so the fourth part is the proposal itself. Like, what is your idea that you want to develop, and who will be your supervisors in the host institutions to help you develop? And so one important part here, I will get back, Giacchino, to your question, but one important question when you prepare anything related to your research proposal, meaning all the documents that are needed in this part, it's important that this part is anonymized, okay? So in this part of your proposal, which will be the first part that evaluators will see when they start evaluating, is important that in no place you should mention your name, surname, other personal information, meaning gender, country or origin, things like that. You should not mention. We also don't want sort of name dropping, so you should not just mention your institutions where you worked or the names of supervisors with whom you worked. So basically the idea here is that evaluators should evaluate your proposal as it is, like the idea itself, and not maybe be biased consciously or unconsciously by, with people whom you work, say, if you work at Stanford, so maybe then this sort of jump to conclusion that project must be great if you work in a great institution, things like that. So be very careful when you write this part, okay? And follow all the instructions here. And so basically you should put proposal acronym, abstract, keywords, which are free keywords, so there should not be any formal. And then, so now we are coming closer to your question, because typically most of the proposals, almost all, belong in one research area, in one research area and sub-area, but some proposals are very, maybe inherently interdisciplinary, say they're, I don't know, linguistics and data science. And so if you really want to work in two, then you can also specify the second one. But this is really in exceptional cases that project really requires two fields. And in that case, you can specify two host institutions, and then in the proposal itself, you can specify who would be supervisors.
But it's also possible to choose another host institution that are not in the list, in your list, or it's not possible. We have to use the supervisor that you advise in the list.
Okay, so this is a very good question.
Thank you.
I will go. I will go to that just now. So then let's switch gears slightly. So just to explain a little bit how it works with supervisors. Okay. So in the proposal, the main thing to specify is the host institution and your main supervisor. Okay, so as we explained here at the beginning, there are two kinds of partners or two kinds of institutions that you have in SMASH. One are hosting institutions that contain primary supervisors. Okay. And then you have associated partner institutions where you would go to secondments, meaning long-term visits. Okay. So now let's talk about hosting institution and primary supervisors. Okay. Those you can find, say you decide to work, I don't know, say at University of Gorica, in research area, cross-lingual transfer, say. And then in that way, you can find who are our supervisors that we have in the network from that institution or from all institutions that are in the network. So for example, you can do like this. You choose, this is my area. This would be the supervisors that are part of the primary supervisors that are part of the network, whom I can contact and work with. And then this is for secondments. Again, we'll talk about this later. So is your question, Gioacchino, if among these primary supervisors, if there is somebody, say, that is a professor at UL3, say you want to work at UL3, you want to work in this field, but you do not necessarily want to work with Marco Rabnik-Šikonja, but with some other professor that is in his lab. Your question is
okay. So I can choose another professor that worked in this area.
No, this is my question. Is this what you were, are you wondering?
Yes. But maybe the primary supervisor, we don't have a possibility to choose another supervisor that are not in the list. But for secondary supervisor, maybe yes.
Exactly. So that would be my answer.
Okay. Thank you.
So in principle, also if you say your project is such that you want to work with somebody, say again at UL3 in this research area, some colleague of Marco that works with him but is not Marco, in that case, I would advise you to talk with Professor Šikonja, to say your idea, to say that maybe, to think together if maybe a more motivated supervisor for you would be this other person, and then if, say, you come to agreement this other person would be better, we could discuss if you could proceed. But the simplest way is to choose for primary supervisor one of the ones from the list.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So let me just take the question from Mohammed before proceeding. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Am I audible?
Yeah, we're hearing you. Yes, please ask.
So I have two questions. First is related to the field. Like, for instance, my field is computer vision and deep learning. And I'm interested, for example, in the remote sensing and precision medicine, for example. So is this possible for me to pursue my proposal in a different area? Somehow it is related, but my publications are mostly in the computer vision side. So is this a problem for me, or is it fine? My second, So you can answer my first question, and then I will ask another question.
Okay, so the first question is this. You should be a bit careful if you have to. There are two possibilities. One, say, if your main expertise and main project idea is still deeply rooted in deep learning, in computer vision, you could choose one supervisor from that area. And then anyway, say in the proposal that you want to apply, say, deep learning and computer vision to the field of precision medicine. And that anyway you will use SMASH network in order to do so. At the same time, you see there are some supervisors like Peter Peer, maybe this is your case, that are both expert in deep learning and in personalized medicine.
Yeah.
And so if you find a single supervisor, say Peter Peer, to me naively seems very motivated and to supervise your proposal, in that case you could specify I mean, you can put in this application, you could even put these two areas when you apply. But you can always just write that it is Peter. I mean, in your proposal, you can say, I will do this with a single supervisor, peer-to-peer, and a single institution. So this would be the way to proceed. So here, for cost institution, you would put one, and here you could specify two sub areas and research areas, because if your project is truly interdisciplinary. This is what I would.
All right. And my second question is related to the supervisor. Like you can go to the page where there was primary supervisor. Yeah. So for instance, if the peer-to-peer, so there are different fields assigned to him, 1.2, 1.3, which is deep learning and computer vision and beyond supervised learning. And then there is a research and explainable AI. So if, for example, I ask the first one, Luca, and he's interested, for example, in another field. So does this mean that this field that is specified to them, one must write proposal in the same field, or he must supervised in the same field? I mean, like Luca, the field assigned to him is 1.2 and 1.3. And if we agree on another topic, which is precision medicine, right? With the Luca. So is this fine that he can be a mentor in the precision medicine? Still, he is not assigned. Yeah.
I think so because so just the proposals are evaluated by complete independent evaluators, and I think there it's very important just that you argue, that you have a good project, that you explain why it is important, motivate in every way, and that you sort of demonstrate or say in words, describe why the supervisor in host institution is the one that can supervise you very effectively, because these proposals are also sort of very much based on your expertise. They're sort of you have lots of independence in this proposal, so you need some guidance, but as long as you can see that the person is expert in what you want to do, even if it's not formally classified like this here, I think evaluators will have no problem in
Okay. So it doesn't mean that 1.1, 1.3 we have to stick with 1.1, 1.3 with this particular supervisor. It can be any field, right?
Right, anything. I mean, anything that he's an expert in, like, I mean, of course, you cannot say, like, I want to do music or tech or with Luca, but if Luca also has papers in that field and that did something in that field, even if he's not categorized this way in this particular page, it should work.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so here maybe, now we're getting a bit specific, but let me answer to the second question of Joaquina. So for the primary supervisors, right, you should choose one from the list. And then for secondary supervisors, you can choose people from our list of associated partners. Say you can go here, say you want to collaborate with people from CISA, you see who are our supervisors at CISA, and you can, put them as for your secondments, okay?
Okay, but it's, for example, it's also possible to choose another secondary supervisor or not?
Okay, so secondments. When you write
because, for example, I have idea to talk with another supervisor that is not in this list.
So okay, so there is such rule. So there is such rule that you can. So of course, so you can, if it's very motivated by your project, You can say that you would want to do secondments, I don't know, in some institution that is not listed here. And you should argue, look, I would have to go to this institution because it's really, you know, the best in the world for what exactly I want to do. So even if they're not in our list, you could do that. Because we also wrote to evaluators that instructions for them, but you should also put a little footnote, because for these SMASH projects, it's quite easy to include associated partners if they're really motivated. So say, you in your proposal, you write, I must go to this group and I will do secondments in this group. And then you say, they're not yet associated partners, but could become easily if I win the project. And then if you win the project, then we can include them as associated partners and you will have no problems doing secondments there. Of course, in cases like this, it's good that you preliminary, you know, talk with that group, that you also get, you know, sort of informal approval from them. We don't want to find ourselves in a situation in which that institution then later does not accept you. But yeah, you could say, even if the group is not on the list, that you would want to go to some group that is very motivated, if that makes your proposal stronger.
Thank you.
Yes, so right. I see that most of you are very, you know, already experts, have very detailed questions. But yeah, for secondments, as you know, you should choose two institutions, at least two institutions, and the total time spent in both on secondments should be 8 months total, max. You could choose more institutions, but at least two, and there should be one in Slovenia, and one should be one international, of course, and then one at least should be interdisciplinary and intersectoral. Where you specify these things? So these things you specify in the research proposal. You also, I mean, you've also the template that you can find on our pages. At the beginning, of course, you describe the proposal, excellence, implementation, dissemination. And then in part 2, you will have the work plan, and one work plan, work package 4 should describe secondments. So in this part, you should be describing where you want to go and to motivate why you want to go to those institutions. Another thing that is that could be confusing to some of you is that in the research proposal, you should also specify the financial plan. However, as it says here, this is not detailed financial plan for everything. This has only to do with research, how you plan to spend your research costs, travel allowance, and secondment subsistence. Okay. So for that, you should calculate how much money you will have in research costs, travel allowance, and secondment subsistence. That you can see in the guide for applicants. I can tell you more if you have questions, and then say how you will spend them. Say, if you calculate for travel allowance, you have in total 9.6K to spend over 2 years of your contract. And so you can say, I want to go to that many conferences, that much money I will spend during secondments maybe, and then and make plan like this. And for research costs, you can say, I'll buy a laptop, I'll use money for publication in journals and things like that. For financial aspects, I just wanted to make it clear that you can find, if you go to guide for applicants, this is guide for applicants. In guide for applicants, you can find a table that details various costs, the amount of money that you will have assigned. And here you can see the travel allowance is 400 euros per month, which over 2 years becomes 9.6K. Research costs are 300, that becomes 7.2K. And so these are the amounts that you should use when you talk about financial plan in your research proposal. Okay, so I hope, do you have any questions about this part? Okay, if not, right, so this would be sort of maybe the most tricky parts or the most confusing parts about from which we get the most questions typically, and then the rest should be rather straightforward in filling out the research proposal. Here you have this ethics self-assessment. And in case that you don't have any ethics questions raised in your proposal, you can click no to everything. If you have yes, then you will have to submit a separate ethics self-assessment document where you detail what are the ethics concerns in your project. Okay, so this was a bit longer. This is more or less various details of what you should do to apply. I would probably at this point stop with this general part of the tutorial or how to apply part of the call. If you agree, Aleš, we can stop recording and then take some more questions if anybody has anything related to Smash. Okay, yeah.